Soeb, have you joined?
Yes.
Yeah. What was your question?
Okay, my question was how many hypervisor are there in use widely that we are using? And if there
Uh,
are type of hypervisors,
yeah,
is
there
there
are.
any dependency? Is there any dependency for the hypervisors on the host operating system that we have on the hardware?
Yes, there are multiple. Famous are Microsoft's Hyper-V and VMware's VMware. VMware is a company's name, and their product name is also VMware, which means virtual machine. VMware Player, they call it. Sometimes they call it VMware, or sometimes they call it vSphere. Okay, so that is from VMware, and there is one which is from Microsoft, which is Hyper-V, and there are others also. There are multiple. Dependency, yes, obviously there are some dependencies, hardware versions, etc., and there are many, but it's not a part of it's not at all scope of our training, and you guys don't even have to know about it. No one is going to ask you, because when you go to an IT company or anywhere, you will see a Windows team, you will see a Linux team, and apart from that you will see a virtualization team, a dedicated team for that. So it's a different story altogether, a different study altogether. We don't have to worry about it, right? But yes, there are multiple vendors, there are multiple hypervisors. Famous are VMware's virtualization and Microsoft's Hyper-V. So if you look for VMware, this is VMware. It's a company's name. It's a big company, VMware. Okay. And the other one you have, it's called Hyper-V. Hyper-V is a product name. Hypervisor is technology. Hyper-V is a product name, and that is Microsoft's product, Hyper-V. Okay, but you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to know about it. No one is going to ask you about it. So don't worry about it at all. Okay. But you should know the virtualization, because I'm going to explain how cloud works, so that's how you will understand that. Okay, so let's proceed then. Any other questions, guys?
Sohail, I have one question.
Hmm.
As you are aware that this artificial intelligence is taking all the power, and getting into not into manpower hands nowadays. So like for example, in coming future, if we are taking a career into clouds, okay, there is no any automation of AI, right?
No, definitely there is some automation, and what we are going to learn now, you will get a break into that industry, and you guys will learn automation eventually. You will have to learn if you want to grow. First you learn Azure, and then you learn automation after that. You'll have to learn that. But it's
Acha.
when I say soon, it doesn't mean now or 1 year or 2 years. It's a talk of 1 or 2 decades. So don't worry about it.
Acha.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Sohail, with
Yes.
respect to the diagram that you showed with the layer of hardware and host
Mm-hmm.
OS, there is an host OS optional. So does it mean that we can install hypervisor directly on the hardware?
Yes, we can. But don't worry about it. I'm telling you guys that has nothing to do with Azure course. And we are not learning virtualization here. VMware itself has a certification, VCP 605. We are not learning that here. No one is going to ask you in your interview. So don't worry. You just needed to know this, because you will understand that how your cloud provider are working. How are they able to give you these many machines for so cheap? How are they utilizing virtualization? You just need to know that. Other than that, when you go to cloud and if you request for a machine, at the background it is using hypervisor. Definitely when it comes to Azure is using Hyper-V, their own product. When it goes to AWS, they are using VMware, I guess. There are multiple. Which one is using which one, we don't even know, and they don't even declare it, and because we don't even have to troubleshoot or work on that. It is the job of the cloud provider. That is the benefit of the cloud. We are going over there slowly, right? So like I explained, let me open a paint. So earlier, how was it? One hardware, and on that one operating system. This was the setup. No matter if I want sometimes this requires 4 GB and 16 GB, I've taken it for 16 GB. Remaining is not being used properly, but I'm paying for that. This was the setup earlier. After virtualization, what has happened? One hardware, but this hardware can be segregated into multiple segments. So you can have multiple virtual machines on that. Some can be big, some can be small. Out of the 16 GB, you can give this machine 8 GB, you can give this machine 4 GB, you can give this machine 4 GB. You can give this machine 2 GB, 2 GB, 2 GB, and remaining 10 GB to this machine, however you like. This is just RAM. Similarly, you can divide CPU also. Similarly, you can divide hard disk also. This server of yours has 500 GB. This has 500 GB. All 500 GB is allocated to this operating system. If you're using 200 GB and 300 GB is being wasted, it's wasted. You cannot do anything about it because you purchased a hard disk of 500 GB. However, here 500 GB, out of 500 GB, it's up to you. It's up to you. You can assign 200 to this, 100, 100, 100 to this one. You can assign 300 GB to this. You can assign 100, 100 to this. You can assign 200, 200 and 50, 50. It's up to you. You can utilize your resources in a better manner when it comes to virtualization. Okay, but operating system itself, it's a team. When you have to handle this, hardware is a team, you'll have to handle this. Now the virtualization is there on top of that, so you'll require another team to handle virtualization, right? So manpower and technology, everything is coming in picture, and it is increasing cost also. So this was the era, or this was the picture of your on-premises data center. In your data center, which you saw, which we saw here, data center, in this data center, in this data center buildings, you will have multiple racks inside. Okay, building we saw already from outside. I think this is Google's data center. Looking at the color, I'm guessing this is Google's data center, I guess. Okay, so you have multiple racks, you have multiple servers. Now all these servers, where there is a crucial application which is the resource hungry application, which requires a lot of resources, that application could be on a physical server directly. Just because we have virtualization, that does not mean everything is gone virtualization. So this server can have only one operating system, and I am running very crucial application on this. On the other hand, this can have 5 OS and can run 5 applications. This can have 4 OS, can run 4 applications. This can have 2 OS, something like this. So everything will be divided. Maybe this will have 6 operating systems. Again, depends on the condition of your server also. I mean, if your server's capacity is only 40 GB, and if you want 2 servers, if you want 3 server 20 GB each, so your core resource will be finished in 2 servers itself. 20, 20, 40, you had maximum 40. You won't be able to have third server here. Okay, so something like this is the current setup of data centers, and these are called on-prem or on-premises data center. The short form is on-prem. The name is on-premises data center. What does it mean, on-premises? That it is somewhere in company's premises. Not necessary that if it is my branch, if it is a bank and I have a branch in the middle of the city, so I'll have my data center just next to it. No, on-prem does not mean just next to it, but on-prem, that it is somewhere in company's environment or company's premises. Not necessary that very same environment where your branch is of the bank, if you take the example of bank, or if we talk about airline. So it's not necessary that your data center will be there just next to your airplane or next to airport. No, but we call it on-prem wherever it is on the company's property. Company will have to take care of that land. Company will have to take care of that building. Company will have to take care of the AC. Company will have to take care of the security. Company will have to take care of the line which they have, the ISP line, which is going from the branch to data center, banking branch to data center, which is going from the ISP line, the MSCB line, or electricity power supply, whatever. company is responsible for that. That is called your on-premises data center. Within data center, you will have racks. Racks, you will have servers. Servers may have physical or virtual machines. Is this picture clear till here, guys?
Yeah.
And on top of this, we host our applications on this. It could be any application. Last time we discussed public application, public facing, private application for pay slip, etc. It could be anything for airplanes, airlines. There are number of applications. Banking people, they use their application to keep a track of all data. Telecom industry, that uses application to check who recharged last time, what is the validity and everything. Right? So there are n number of applications and software, and for which we require n number of servers. So is this clear till here? Data center, racks. Within this rack will have servers. On servers we may have virtual or physical machines. Is this clear, guys, till here?
Yes.
Clear.
Yes.
If the power supply of your data center is gone, no matter whether it's a virtual machine or it's a physical machine, it's gone, it's gone. Okay, so what is the benefit of virtual machine? Virtual machine's benefit is it is giving you an opportunity to use the same hardware for multiple operating system. Okay, so where you were running your application on one operating system, now you can run it on two operating system. So if something goes wrong at operating system level, you will have redundancy, you will have a backup. See here, if I have an application, again going back to legacy, very old, where we did not have virtualization. So let's say that I have one application, but the application is very crucial, that I cannot survive, I cannot afford to have it only on one server. Okay, and one server, I mean a set of server. To run an application I require 9 servers, but I do not want to rely on that. I want a backup also, something. So in this setup, I would require I would require 9 more servers to have the backup ready, that if something goes wrong with these servers, I will have a backup ready. Okay, so that was the option which you had earlier. But when it comes to virtualization, what it is doing, that if something goes wrong with operating system, with this operating system, then I have this operating system, I can get my services from here. If something goes wrong to this, I can get my services from here, though it is not covering the hardware level redundancy. I hope that is clear to everyone, right? If hardware is gone here or here, it's the same case. But here, if something goes wrong with your operating system, this is a gone case, your application is not working. But in this case, because you have 4 applications, and instead of running different applications, you have 4 operating systems, and you have decided that my application is crucial, I will have one server, 4 operating system, and instead of running different applications, I'm going to use all these 4 servers for one application. So even if one goes down, I will have my services from second server. If this one goes down, I'll have services from this server. So this is one of the benefits of virtualization. Other, I told you, you can utilize the resource, etc. So is this picture clear till now, guys? How was it earlier? How is it in virtualization? What is a data center? Racks kept in data center, physical machine, and virtual machine. Is this clear? You don't need to know anything out of this in detail. Is the concept clear?
Yes.
Yeah, concept is
Okay, you don't need to know.
So can I ask a
if
question?
yeah, sure, just a minute. You don't need to know that if this is down, how will this automatically cater that application. You don't have to know that now. This everything has changed in cloud. We are going to learn this in cloud. Okay, yeah, your question was?
Sir, you use the word legacy, so I just want to know if you could just elaborate on that.
Legacy,
Legacy
and this
application.
is how it started. This is how it started. Like earlier we used to have one server, one application, one server, one operating system, one application. That is our legacy method. Then the virtualization came into picture, and now the cloud is there.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so now you guys have a better understanding, that why do we require server first thing? To run applications like Swiggy, Ola, Uber, some app, banking apps, anything. It could be anything, investment app, Kite, Zerodha, etc. Okay, so those are the applications. To run those applications, you require servers. To host those servers, you require racks. Racks will be there in data center. If the data center is being handled by your company, it is called your on-prem data center. Under data center, we can have physical machines also, we can have virtual machines also. Ultimately, virtual machine is also hosted on a physical. Do not forget that. Just because we are calling it a virtual machine, that does not mean everything is virtual. I gave you this example twice and thrice, again repeating. If this is the case, here if a RAM is gone, in the same case RAM is gone, here one operating system will be shut, and here all 4 operating systems will be shut. So this is the underlying hardware. If this is gone, everything is gone. Okay. So this is on-prem data center. Now when you move to cloud, what cloud has done, cloud has created their own data centers, their own buildings. They have multiple thousands of racks, and they have lakhs of servers. Everything is here now. Earlier also I told you data center doesn't have to be exactly on your on premises. If your bank is there, if you're there's a bank in the heart of the city, middle of the city, your data center is not there. Your data center is somewhere else, right? So there is a connectivity of internet connectivity. Using the internet connectivity, you're utilizing those services, which means that earlier also the services out of those servers were being utilized over the internet. When people are accessing your website, it doesn't matter where your data center is, it is being accessed on internet. Okay, so if it also earlier also it was possible to access your data center and everything over the internet. Now let's move to cloud. What cloud has done, cloud has taken big buildings, they have built buildings and they have built racks and etc, and now they have thousands of servers here. And here I'm talking about server hardware. I told you guys will have to make a habit of it to understand just by the sentence when I'm referring to an operating system and when I'm referring to a hardware. So here's Azure or AWS, they have purchased thousands of servers. Okay, now what they are saying, if you want to use a server, why do you purchase your own server? Why do you spend in building? Why do you spend in security? Why are you spending on AC? I have everything ready here. You just come and utilize my services and pay me the rent. Utilize my service over the internet and pay me the rent. So that is your cloud. That now if I want a machine like this to host an application, instead of bringing my own server, doing the networking and etc., I'll simply go over the internet. I'll access this one of the cloud's website, for example, Azure. Because we are discussing Azure, we'll take examples of Azure. So let's say Azure, you'll go to Azure portal, you will, by the help of some clicks, you will tell them that I need a machine. What kind of machine do you need? I need a machine which has 4 GB RAM. I need a machine which has 200 GB hard disk. I need a machine which has 2 CPU. I need a machine which has operating system of Windows Server 2019. Here you had to bring the server, you had to install operating system, and here in cloud you just have to tell them. Once you tell them is in instruction mode. Next, you have to click. We'll see that portal maybe today itself, we'll see that. Okay, so once you have done that, you will have your machine ready in just minutes. In legacy method data center, whether it's a virtualization or hardware, the basic hardware was very difficult. How it used to happen, let's say that I have 3 servers and I'm in need of a 4th server. So I cannot go ahead to market and directly buy a 4th server. I'll have to search that. Okay, which vendor is giving me good discount, which vendor is providing me good service. You'll have to do this, do the research. And even if it is a smallest company, there must be a process. You'll have to raise a request. Your admin department will get 3 or 4 quotations. You will go through that. So it is a time consuming process. Even in virtualization, same thing happens. If there is a scope, let's say there is a scope, then okay, you can quickly go ahead and create one. But if there is no scope, you'll have to buy something new. The same process happens over there also. So it is a time consuming process. On the other hand, cloud, you simply have to again just give instructions. You give instructions for the first machine, your first machine got created. And after 2 days, suddenly you're realizing that no, I want 3 machines. My website is running fine. You can again simply go to their portal and request for machine, and you will have 3 machines, and you can have different sizes also. Some may have 4 GB, some may have 5 GB, some may have 10 GB. You can do this. This is on cloud. Here, let's say you have purchased 2 hardwares and later on after a month your spike has went down and you're not able to sell things, your website is not working, but you have already purchased the hardware, which is a waste of money. On the other hand, cloud, you simply log into their portal and just delete one server. You say, okay, I opted for 3 server, but I think this month I need only 1 server. You can do that. So this is your cloud benefit. How it was in on-premises, how it was in on-premises when virtualization was introduced, and now how it is in cloud. But how cloud vendor is giving you so many machines, what are they using on these hardwares?
Hypervisor.
Yes, they are using some type of hypervisor. Azure for sure uses Hyper-V because it's Microsoft's own product. So now you can have one machine on this hardware, and I can also have this machine on this hardware. So there's only one hardware is running, and you have a machine and I have a machine. But Azure has made sure that no data is transmitting with each other, and if something goes wrong with, okay, in our legacy environment, this one, if a fan goes down here, will my machine work? Will operating system work?
No.
No.
No. Whose responsibility to get that fan replaced?
Mine.
Yes. If it is my server, it's my duty. It could be any department of my team, but it's my duty. Similarly, in virtualization also, if something goes wrong, I'll have to do that. But in cloud, if something goes wrong to this head, to this one, to uh, to this hardware, then it is not your responsibility. You don't even have to worry about it. While paying for the server, Microsoft will give you some SLA. Let's say that 90% SLA. Now, how to calculate the SLA, I'll show it to you later. But 90% matlab hardly 10% time my server can be down, right? So they will not afford to down it. So what they'll do, if something is wrong, their technology allows them to simply move these 3 machines, pick it up from here, and with the same configuration, just keep it here, and your server will be up and running in 10 minutes. And what to do with this server? Is it in warranty? Do we have to change it? Do we have to change the RAM, etc., etc.? Client will take care of that. Is it clear, guys? I'm taking some pauses in between so you guys can register some information. Is it clear
Yes,
to
sir.
everyone? Any
Clear,
doubt,
yeah.
guys?
No.
So did you guys get a fair idea what a cloud is? Why would we have the cloud?
Yes.
Okay. Now
Yes, sir.
this example we have taken only for virtual machines. This could be for anything. Now when you have data centers, you will have networking also. So here, these guys have already created their networks. Everywhere networking has been created. Okay. Now they're just asking you to log into that portal and configure the networking according to your needs. For example, this should talk to this should not talk to this. You can configure that. Okay. That is network. Storage also. Storage you could have here also. When you have on-prem data center, you'll have to have your storage here. But when you go to cloud with these virtual machines, cloud will have storage also. Huge, big terabyte and petabyte storage they will have, and they will just give it on the rent. As in, you can log into this and you can book some storage place. Is it clear? So cloud is not only about virtual machines, it's about all services. It gives you a storage service, it gives you virtual machine service, it can give you analytical service, it could be anything. Is it?
Sir, there is a 3 virtual machines are there you have kept on the like in the cloud,
Mhm.
so they will be talk each other, but the
No,
different companies are
no,
there,
no,
so
no,
they
they
will be
don't.
sharing the data.
No, sorry to interrupt, Satish, but I got your question. Yeah, guys, one more thing. Sometimes if I interrupt you, please do not mind because we have limited time. And if I understand your question, uh, sometimes I may interrupt. And if I'm not getting your question properly, feel free to tell me that stop, let me complete my question. But I think, Satish, yes, I got your question and I clarified this that Azure has that facility that net data is not being shared with each other. Don't worry. Even if, and you don't even come to know, this is, I'm just explaining it to you. This machine owner will not know that who else is there on this machine, and this machine owner will not know who else is there on that machine. I'm just giving you an example. This is not an example. This is how exactly it works. But end user will not know where my machine is hosted and who else is hosted on that. And data is not being shared definitely.
Sir, why we are using private cloud then? There is a public and private cloud also is there in mention in that what we have studied. You have given that log.
No, I did not ask you to go there, guys. Right? I told
Okay.
you guys, if you guys are going ahead and reading some topics, watching some video from my old batch, please do not bring those questions here, because people are running, maybe some people are not going ahead and reading, and it may confuse them. And people from old batch also, please do not bring those topics which we have covered in old batch. So let's stick with the flow. I'll cover mention that, don't worry, it is just about to come. Any questions, guys?
So saying that in cloud, okay. So for example, if I'm using any virtual machine for my application, so I have to pay only for that, for what
Yes,
I am been using. Is as simple as that.
exactly. And
Okay.
it's very simple. If you use it for half an hour, you'll pay only for half an hour. You delete the machine after half an hour, you don't even have to pay anything after that half an hour. On the other hand, legacy method, if you have an idea in your mind and if you want to build another app like a Swiggy, so coding and everything, that is fine. After that also, let's say you are a coder yourself and you have coded the machine, you have coded the application already, but to host that and to have that application, you'll have to purchase a hardware, a server of 10 lakh rupees, which is not feasible. On the other hand, you can go to cloud, just half an hour, you utilize that, maybe you use it for 15 days, 10 days, and see if it is working fine, if your app is working, are you earning? If not, you can simply delete that and you're just paying for 10 days.
So cloud is nothing but only the costing, right?
In a way, yes,
Only
you can say.
the technology. Yeah.
Yes, and it's not only because of the cost. Other thing, the headache also. I told you in the other scenario,
Yeah.
if your
Agree.
machine is down, it's your responsibility to call the vendor. If you want to purchase a new machine, it is your responsibility to get the quotation. Your, as in not you as an individual, but your company's responsibility. And then will be multiple methods, multiple departments, right? Which will uh, consume time and which will delay the production. On the other hand, cloud, it's matter of few clicks. Yes, guys. Any other questions anyone
Understand.
has?
Well, bhai,
Hmm?
yeah, you said the whole machines will be shifted. Okay. How is that possible? Can you please elaborate once?
You don't have to worry about it. You don't troubleshoot on that. You, as in not only you, anyone, even
Mhm.
as an architect, we don't, and Azure doesn't even share that. They don't share it with us. How is it being done? They don't let us know. They won't let us touch that. And there's no way we can know that.
Okay.
It is Azure job. That is the reason they are taking some money from you. They will promise you 90% SLA. They will give you 90% SLA. What they are doing in the underlying hardware, you don't need to worry about it. They won't let you involve in that. If you want
So
that
is
kind of
tenure
access,
of the yeah, please, please.
if you want that kind of access, you go with virtualization. In your virtualization, I can explain it to you how it works. That is called high availability. Where I have configured high availability in virtualization, but that is not the topic here. That is not what we are learning here. And you don't even have to learn here. Nowadays no one is going for their own virtualization. When cloud is there, why would they take this headache? So you don't have to know about that.
Sir, if anything happens to server, like anything corrupt or data will be happened, something or down has been done.
Hmm.
So the data will be shifted by them or data will be shifted by us. Like we are using that in the server.
Hmm. See, data is never stored in server. You will learn this when we learn 3-tier application. That is the reason we have a 3 database servers. Data is never there on the server, never ever. Okay, you will never have
Okay.
data on the server, so don't worry about it.
If anything happens of anything happens or something like whatever we save or anything we are using the virtual machines.
Hmm.
If anything happens, so uh, they will be take like downtime for that, or we have to only the shift that virtual
No, you
machine.
don't even have access to shift. You don't even come to
Okay,
know
okay.
about it. You won't even come to know. See, there are two methods in this one now. Two things can happen. It on premises also, cloud also, virtualization also. And take your phone's example also. Okay. One thing is something wrong with my operating system. My operating system is not working. You guys are using Windows. Sometimes you see a blue screen. Sometimes it is lagging. Sometimes it is not working. Sometimes it is not updated. Some files are missing. Anything. So if something happens to your operating system here in on premises, you'll have to troubleshoot on your operating system. You're not going to your hardware. You're troubleshooting on your operating system. Similarly, if something happens here in virtualization, you're troubleshooting your operating system. You're not touching your hardware. Server hardware को touch भी नहीं कर रहा हो. Similarly, in cloud, by the way, cloud में different features भी है. We're going to learn that. But as of now, to understand this, if something goes wrong to operating system, you're not going anywhere and cloud is not helping you. You have to work on your operating system. It can be as silly as that you've forgotten your password, right? So it's not Azure's responsibility. In this one also, just because you have forgotten the password, you don't have to troubleshoot on the hardware. You will troubleshoot on software. You will troubleshoot here. You'll try to get recover password somewhere on the operating system. But if something goes wrong at the hardware level, RAM is gone, CPU is not working, fan is not working, motherboard is fused, some ICs have gone, network cable is not working, etc., anything, it is heating. So in this on-premises situation, you guys will have to get it replaced. You as in anyone from your team. Same in the virtualization method also. But in cloud, if something goes wrong to this machine, this is what I'm talking about. Here, cloud will make sure that your machines are already moved to some other host. This is called host. This is called physical server. They are moved here, somewhere here. It detects also if failure has been detected before it fails, it will move your machine and you won't even come to know that. And sometimes after it has failed, it will move your machine. But Azure taking guarantee of this hardware. If something is wrong with your operating system, you have not updated that properly, then it is your problem. Azure is not helping you with that. Is it clear?
Like data also, sir, same as data also. If the we are storing some data
No,
in
no one
the
saves
cloud only,
data.
right?
No one saves data
Okay,
in servers. When you go to storage, we'll discuss that in detail. Don't worry.
okay, okay.
Okay. Any doubt here, guys?
फिर सर सर्वर क्यों लेते हैं अगर डेटा सेव नहीं करना है तो?
Application कहाँ host करोगे? Do you think server is only
अच्छा,
for storing the data? You store your data. If I come back to mobile phone, I'm giving you mobile application, guys, example, because you will understand it properly. Your mobile phone will have some memory, fine, inbuilt memory, or maybe you may have memory card for pictures, for songs, for videos. But is that what you're taking your phone for? Your phone has RAM, your phone has motherboard, your phone has a processor, that your phone has fingerprint sensor. You're taking a phone for that. Similarly, you can run your operating system on your phone, and on top of that you can run applications. Similarly, you're taking server for this requirement. So you can have RAM, you can have hard disk, you can have hard disk to host operating system to host application on that. Is it clear?
yes sir, yes sir.
Yes, guys. What about others? Is it clear,
Understand.
guys? So
Understand.
we
Thank you.
have only 4 minutes left in this session. Once this is done, we'll take a break of 5 minutes. We'll resume and start the third session. Do you guys have any questions? Once we come back, we'll start with what is cloud, what are the deployment, what are the services, etc. So we have 3 minutes. If anyone has any question, let me know. Anything which you did not understand, you want me to repeat, anything, guys? Yes, did you understand all of it? Did you not understand anything? Anisa, Aksa, Fateh,
Yes, sir, understood.
you guys getting it? Jyotsna, Neha, Nirmal,
Understood, sir.
all of you?
Yeah.
Yes.
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 Shrikant, Shweta,
Yes.
Tina, Uzaif, Sahil. Any questions, guys?
No, sir.
Okay, so we
No
have 2
questions,
minutes
sir.
left. Let me see if I can cover something. Okay, let's cover this then. We have 2 minutes, so let's cover. Now, what is cloud? I have already explained it to you. Let me explain one more method to you guys, how I follow the training. I will explain it to you in detail, the concept. Okay, but you do not have this time, this much of time in your interview to make your interviewer understand. So in your interview, you will have to give definitions. Okay, we all have seen movie Three Idiot. They talk about definition, they make joke about it, but that is a bitter truth, guys. You'll have to remember definition. इंटरव्यूअर उसी पे पास करने वाला है, आपको जॉब उसी पे मिलने वाला है. हाँ, काम करने के लिए you guys will have to understand the concept which I have already explained it now, that what is a cloud. But if an interviewer is asking you, and this never applies to senior people experience, no one will ask you what is a cloud. Freshers, you will be asked, definitely this question will be asked to you, what is a cloud? So that time you cannot go ahead and explain this much. You won't have this time, and you won't be able to explain it. So if they're asking what is a cloud, the cloud refers to servers or services which we as companies use via internet. Services like IT infrastructure, I already explained it to you guys, right? What is IT infrastructure? All data center, that is called IT infrastructure. So cloud is for IT infrastructure, software, virtual machine, storage, extract, etc. So this is the definition you guys have to tell in the interview. So whatever is written here, make sure you guys start preparing. Though I'm gonna share some questions with you also, starting from today itself. Like today, I'm gonna give you this question: what is cloud? Answer is there, but I'm just going to give you some questions. So in every, and I will recommend you that start reading from day one. Do not think that after 3 months, once my course is done, then I will start focusing on theory. Theory is equally important than practical. In fact, more important than practical when it comes to clearing the interview. When you go to job, practical is important, but to clear the interview, theory part is important. Okay, guys, only 30 seconds are left. I'm gonna stop the session. See you at 3:30. Use the same link.